买一台你不说你就错过这
Good evening, Bhante and all Kalyanamita. Namo Buddhaya and Sukhi Hontu. I'm Aliana and welcome to Ti-Ratana Vihara Friday Sutta discussion by Bhante Dr. Ganggodawila Chandima. This is the day 148 of the Sutta discussion, the 10th class of Dīghajāṇu Sutta, with topic The Full Review by Bhante Dr. Ganggodawila Chandima. Dīghajāṇu Sutta is the 14th sutta that have been chosen by Bhante Chandima for this sutta discussion. In previous classes, Bhante has discussed about Manggala Sutta, Ratana Sutta, Metta Sutta, Sigalowada Sutta, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, Sabbasawa Sutta, Patākamma Sutta, Patāmasamajjivi Sutta, Alawaka Sutta, Gajaga Sutta, Girimananda Sutta, Chulakamma Sutta, and Chunda Sutta, which Bhante has elaborated those sutta in depth. For those who have missed our previous classes, please check on Ti-Ratana Vihara Amapadana Clan Facebook page and YouTube channel. We have uploaded the previous classes there. We are always welcoming newcomers, therefore please share around about this class to other friends and family members so that whoever that wish to join the class via Zoom, where we can engage directly with Bhante, can contact us through PRV Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp. Or you can join the class from Ti-Ratana Vihara Facebook channel, where we broadcast the Sutta class live on every Friday evening from 8:30 till 10 p.m. Kuala Lumpur time. Now let me introduce to you about our speaker, Bhante Dr. Ganggodawila Chandima, who is the Associate Editor of the Journal of International Buddhist Studies, or JIBS, which is published by the Buddhist Research Institute of Mahachulalongkorn Raja Vidyalaya University in Thailand. Bhante was previously a research fellow at the Center for Studies in Religion and Society, or CSRS, at University of Victoria, Canada. Bhante Dr. Chandima was also a Theravada Buddhist chaplain at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada, from year 2012 till 2016. Recently, Bhante Chandima has joined Ateneo de Manila University in Philippines as Assistant Professor of Buddhist Philosophy. Bhante is also the Senior Advisor to Patisota, a virtual Dhamma organization that hosts a weekly online Pali reading class, Sutta discussions, Dhamma talks, and a variety of other Dhamma activities. His Dhamma work can be accessed at www.patisota.blogspot.com, and we also can follow Bhante at Patisota Facebook account. Without further ado, welcome once again Bhante, and as always, thank you very much for the wonderful guidance and teaching. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
First of all, thank you, Aliana. First of all, I want to let you know, in case there was a breakup from Wi-Fi, just bear with me. Looks like there is an internet connection issue. Maybe it might be. Good evening, Dhamma friends. Welcome back. So we are going into the full review of Dīghajāṇu Sutta today. Are there any newcomers today? There must be one newcomer, perhaps. Okay, so before we get started, shall we pay respect to the Buddha? Oh, yes, me, Shamala Santidran. Okay, yeah, welcome. Okay, so we'll get started by paying respect to the Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Today is our sutta discussion, day 148. And today we are joined by many of you, Aliana, Margaret, Kim, Kelvin, Judy, Melinda, Pochu Wong, Nai Chen, Cindy Eo, Cheong Yok, Sumita, Lim, Ong Santi Dren, Corina, Jessica Chan, Wong Hee Leong, Asset Brutus Wu Ki Shyamalan. It looks like that you both have the same surname. Maybe you are from same family, perhaps. Santiran, yeah. Welcome, everyone. So, oh, your son. Good. So, as we are going to do the review, remember we asked you to submit your questions. We got almost 15 questions, and Aliana and her son, Aaron, they prepared the PowerPoint, slides for those questions, so we all can see those questions. I was not able to take a look at all these questions because of the timing issue, but hopefully we'll see how things work here. And after we finish discussing about 15 questions, and we are going to open the floor to anybody who wants to ask questions live. I think I saw one participant wanted to ask a question, maybe. So maybe many of you. Great. Okay. Question and answers. Dīghajāṇu Sutta. Question number 1. Can you all see the question over here?
Yes.
You should be able to see it, right? How can we apply the 4 qualities for happiness in this life? Diligence, protection, good friendship, balanced livelihood in today's modern society, where many people face stress, debt, and competition. We discuss modern ways of practicing. Actually, when we discuss about any Dhamma matter, we were mainly focusing on the modern day life, right? Now, say for instance, diligence, right? So what did we discuss about diligence? We said diligence means effortless effort, right? That means in modern day life, it is not only hardworking. Hardworking is an all-American narrative with regard to the labor ethics, but it's not anymore relevant in that way. But we still have to find ways to be effortful. So effort with regard to your worldly life, lay life, and effort with regard to your spiritual life have to be managed. If you ask me how to do with regard to stress, debt, competition, we have to look at what is stress. Why are we always stressful? If you think you are stressful, why you could be stressful? That takes us to another area in our Dhamma discussion, Sutta discussion. Stress is a response when we feel that we cannot deal with that particular activity, the particular thing, right? And then things are out of control at that point. Can we think about an example about a possible stress in our daily life? Then we can think about a good answer to this question. What could be a good example with regard to stress in our daily life?
Money stress. Financial stress.
Financial stress. And through the Dīghajāṇu Sutta, we learn how to manage wealth, right? How to earn, how to manage. And the framework might apply to different people differently, right? In particular, we discussed that income and expenses must be balanced out, right? And now when you say financial stress, you can't be neutral. You have to say good and bad side too. You just say earning money is a stress, right? I think you are only looking at the problematic area of using money. I think money brings happiness to people, right? Why not? Otherwise, you can't even donate money to a temple, right? How you do dana if you don't have money? It's a problem, right? You need money to do charity. You need money to do donation. You need money to take care of you, right? So then what kind? Where is the stress? Earning part, or maybe good? I mean, the good. Are you talking about the good side of the stress, or the bad side of the stress, or stress in general with regard to finances? That's a very. We have to be very specific about it, right? So then only we can look at it as a relatable question to answer. I think a lot of people have stress with regard to earning money without having realistic goals, right? This is a very important thing. And say, for instance, their dreams, their wishes, and then what they are doing, what they can do, they all need to be kind of realistic, practical. It is like our Dhamma practice, right? We are talking this sutta, that sutta, but finally we don't have even the basics of being a Buddhist, right? Then I mean, not you. I mean, some people, they are talking lot of Dhamma things, but finally they don't have even the fundamentals of being a Buddhist. What are the fundamentals? 5 precepts. They don't even have 5 precepts, but they are talking Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, meditation, that meditation, this meditation, that chanting, this chanting, that vassa, this katina, but this is the problem. That means that practice has not gone to the practical. I always believe everything that we talk as being very good must go to the. Otherwise, we can talk about theories day and night, right? In these discussions, we can pick up a very monastic sutta from Majjhima Nikaya, right? Satipatthana, like this sutta, day and night. How to bring those teachings to the practical level? We have to think about how to make them practical. So it's the money issue. I think earning money, being able to earn money is a talent skill, good karma as well. And being able to earn money within the ethical elements is a I think a double good karma, because more people they earning money not in good ways. Sometimes finding an ethical job is very easy, but very hard to stay in that ethical job, right? I would say it's like easy to find an ethical job, but hard to stay in that ethical job, right? So then let us take a look at the money stress. Then how to handle money. When we are handling money, we have to be very careful with regard to how to handle. Buddha has given all that under Samajivi Katha. And if you remember Pattakamma Sutta, Buddha has clearly told us how to become blameless with regard to our income and expenses. So stress is arising when we don't have realistic plans with regard to money management. We have to be very realistic, right? So that realistic nature, which comes from a very pragmatic, beneficial point of view, will be the most important thing to do with regard to stress. Then second thing is competition. What do you think? Do you think competition is necessary in any field in the world that we are living in? Is competition bad?
Sometimes,
Tell
Bhante.
me a very escaping answer, good and bad.
Sometimes,
That's
Bhante.
the better. Yes, sometimes good, sometimes bad. Yes, I mean, that's why good and bad, a mixed, ambivalent answer. Why is competition necessary?
Bhante, from the modern psychological perspective, people says that competition, it is good to improve ourselves,
Yes.
make it ourselves better.
Yes, especially in the consumer culture, especially your product culture, there are a lot of theories going on, right? Price comparisons, price matching, right? Why do governments invite a foreign company to stay with regard to versus the private companies? Think about oil industry. because local companies can increase prices overnight, right? So it is good to have a healthy comparison all the time, right? That is with regard to the consumer culture. And what about the service culture? I mean, are the people who are selling services be very conscious about comparisons? Yes, people do compare. Customers go to this restaurant and then have a certain service, and then go to another restaurant another day. Then they compare. When they compare, that's a good service. So why should I spend money on that restaurant? I go to this restaurant. So then service culture people have to be very conscious about what they are doing, right? So comparison is good in certain contexts. But what kind of comparison are you talking? Maybe perhaps perfection with regard to life. Perhaps maybe certain psychological events in your life. Perhaps your cultural things. Perhaps our relationships, right? So these are the places where we have to see comparison in a different format, in a healthy way. Now, say for instance, Sotapanna, right? Let's say you become a Sotapanna one day, hopefully, definitely, right? If Angulimala was able to become an Arahant, then why not, right? I mean, as an argument, if Angulimala became an Arahant, if many of the people who were very evil became even Arahant, then why not us? I mean, it might not happen now. It might not happen perhaps in this life, but it should happen one day. It should happen because we look at it from that point of view, right? So when someone becomes a Sotapanna compares Sotapanna with Sakadagami person, the next enlightenment person. But that comparison is a healthy comparison. Why? I have to go there. Right? Not that I'm going to be jealous about the Sakadagami person. Right? Now, say for instance, you have a small bad virtue. You become very you become very worried about everything. Right? Even for a small thing, you are worried about your children, about your family. But you get to meet someone who is taking things very easy. Maybe he or she has a bigger circle of family, maybe background, but that person very patiently, very carefully, very mindfully, maybe more than all, compassionately, patiently, go through everything. So you get to learn that. So why not me? Why was he or she? Is that a healthy comparison or an unhealthy comparison? It's a healthy comparison. I want to be a better person. So that means comparison is not bad. But the way how you're going to use the comparison would be the bad. Is money evil? Money is not evil. It is the person who is going to make the money evil. That's the thing. Is the knife weapons evil? Yes. To a certain extent. Think about a knife. Knife is used by someone to cut vegetables. Maybe a doctor can use a knife to do surgery, right? Maybe another person can use knife to cut certain things. But someone who becomes mad can stab somebody too, right? So then where is the problem? Is it the problem with the knife or the person who is going to use it? In the same way, these things, stress, comparison. Actually, there is a good stress. What is that good stress? Think about some of you already come to your retirement time, right? You've been working very hard to make some money, to save some, some portion of money for your latter part of your life. Then a lot of people, when they retire, they become very sick. They're getting out of control, out of shape. They get unhealthy very fast. Why is it? Some people don't have anything to do in their households, right? So that's why we need to be busy within some context. That means there is a good stress that can help us to manage our health, improve our well-being. But you are asking in this question, when it comes to practicing Uttana Sampada, energetic striving, Arakka Sampada protection, then what you call Kalyana Mittata, noble friendship, and Samajivikata, balance living, how to practice these things in the face of stress, competition, and death. I think if you come up to, as we understood, stress, competition, there are good stuff all the time, in some ways. But why you may have come to these levels? If you have become very stressful, if you have become, taken aback with unnecessary competition or debt, that means you may have not properly handled your life. So that's why when you learn about Dīghajāṇu Sutta, Buddha clearly mentioned what is Uttana Sampada. Uttana Sampada, if you go to the, I think I have to show you Dīghajāṇu Sutta at this point, so that we can have a very good perspective with regard to this. See. Okay, so when you take a look at this Dīghajāṇu Sutta, you can see how did the Buddha ask lay people to practice it. You can see here what is accomplishment in initiative or persistent moral effort. It is when a gentleman, someone earns a living by means such as farming, trade, raising cattle, archery, government service, or one of the professions. He understands how to go about these things in order to complete and organize the work. So that means, I think we discussed that already. Whatever the job you are doing, you have to do it in that desired competence. You may be a government worker, you may be a freelancer, you may be somebody else, but whatever the thing you are doing, do to the best of you. Do to the best of your competence. So that's the modern version of doing it. When you are doing that, there are certain things that you may go through which you couldn't expect. So we know things are very uncertain. So when those things are happening to you, you are becoming patient. You patiently handle those situations, but then you carry on. You don't stop your skillfulness in that world. And what about the second one, protection? How to practice it in this life? You can see here, she ensures it is guarded and protected thinking. How can I prevent my wealth from being taken by different problems, rulers, government, fire, natural disasters, and unloved heirs? So then, what is the answer? You have to do these things. You have to do things that the Buddha had asked according to that definition. Right? Then what about noble friendship? How to do it in the modern life? What is the accomplishment of good noble friendship? It is when a gentleman here, in that place, there are householders, so there are children who may be young or old, but are mature in conduct, accomplishing Saddha, Sila, Chara, Panya. He associates with them, converses, engages in discussions, and he emulates the same kind of accomplishment in Saddha, Sila, Chara, Panya. That means you have to find out the Kalyana Mittas, and then you have to talk to them, you have to discuss with them, you have to associate them. Until you do it, you are not going to be completing that accomplishment. Then what about balanced living? How to do it? I think it is the most important interpretation which the Buddha is talking. See, how long is that analysis? Buddha is talking about money a lot, see? Because, see, even here, 3 very big paragraph. Why? A lot of people mess up in their finances. That's why. See here, what's accomplishment in balanced finance? When a gentleman, knowing his income and expenditure, balances his finances being neither too extravagant nor too frugal. Then how to accomplish the balance living? You have to balance out income and expenses. Now in today's world, we are taken away by a lot of things, like especially shopping culture, right? Earlier you went to the mall and you bought, now you are buying through online apps and they are giving you promos, they are giving you deals, right? So if you are really not mindful about what you are doing, then you will have to pay a big cost for all this, right? So what do you need for balanced living? You need some mindfulness. You need some wisdom. Should I need to buy these things? Maybe I don't need to buy them now. Maybe I don't need them, right? So that's why when you read about Dīghajāṇu Sutta, you can see no matter what, regardless of what you call stress, comparison, and debt, you could practice them, and you will not come to them. Actually, when you know these accomplishments, you will do them without stress. You will do them without comparison. You will do them without debt. Actually, if you who will become bankrupt? Who will incur a lot of debt? The one who doesn't know how to balance the finances. So if anybody reads this, actually, this is what I'm saying. We have to ask every layperson to read Dīghajāṇu Sutta. Why? Because if you catch up with Nibbana type teachings in the first place, you want to learn about Four Noble Truths, Noble Eightfold Path in the first place, and then you will never learn these things. So we have to first give the lay people's Dhamma teachings first, and then talk about the Noble Eightfold Path. Otherwise, people will think Buddhism is only Noble Eightfold Path. Yes, in the spiritual way. But what about the teachings which the Buddha asked lay people to practice? Right? So that is how we can look at it. So the answer to this question is you need to read the Dīghajāṇu Sutta a couple more times to see what the Buddha said. They are all what he told. I mean, everything that he told here in the Sutta, they are the ways of practicing this in the modern life. Second question. The Sutta teaches both worldly welfare and welfare in future lives. 4 for the worldly life, this life, 4 for the future life. How should a layperson balance the pursuit of financial stability with cultivating? I think it was given in the Sutta. The Buddha clearly says you should not overspend, right? Oh no, you should not become overly thrifty, overly frugal, right? He's talking that thing. Can we discuss about overspending and underspending? I think that is what Sutta is talking. What is the financial bracket for everybody for overspending and underspending? This depends on your income and your way of spending life. What is overspending and what is underspending? Because as long as you are not overspending and underspending, you are good. You have the Samajivi Kata. That's the answer. But can we discuss again about these overspending habits? They are habits, huh? They are not what you want to do. They are habits. When you go to the place, you will automatically engaging in that activity. Right? Aliana, you said the competition within family members. Yeah. Yes. So these are things that are happening. I mean, we don't have to, I mean, this is not a very strange thing. It is happening because when there are many people, they are trying to emulate, right? Emulate, outsmart, emulate. It is a normal thing. Okay, overspending. Yes, that is the answer. Eat their wealth like a fig eater. That means going to spend the whole money without you know, what do you call, classifying for certain needs. Can we think about someone who is overspending in today's world? What have you noticed about someone who's overspending?
Young generation, Bhante, they are using pay later.
Pay later habits, yeah, because pay later. So we have the peace, they have the peace of mind. Pay later, maybe pay by installment, right? So you're very happy, huh? Now you're not, maybe pay pay with but zero interest, right? Especially in today's world, you can, you don't have to pay the whole amount of money for a vehicle. You can actually bring the car without paying anything, only by giving some paper in many countries, right? So people feel motivated to, I think it's not overspending, but it will lead to overspending because as time passes by, people are incurring a lot of debt, as you said. What about something very interesting? Credit card culture. Is using a credit card a very wonderful, easy thing for all of us? We have to use credit cards nowadays because a lot of places they are becoming already cashless places. We don't actually maintain the inventory for that. So if they are cashless, you may have to use either a debit card or a credit card, right? So then what is the problem with the credit card for someone who doesn't understand Samajivikata? What do the credit card companies tell people about the payment?
Compounded interest.
Huh?
You pay the
Compounded
minimum
interest.
amount.
Pay the
Very
minimum.
much
It's okay, don't
interest.
worry. You pay the minimum payment before that thing. Think about $400 bill. Now the person is buying, right? It has come into the overbuying, right? And then what will happen? The bank says, the company says, you don't worry, you just pay the minimum. Now the person is going to think about taking this seriously. Okay, August, I pay the minimum, $10, right? 400 bill, but $10. Then September also, I pay $10. October also, I'm going to pay $10. Now the person wants to get rid of this credit card, actually, especially this outstanding balance. Then by November, the person wants to think about paying off. Now, the bill has gone over the monthly income of the person. The person cannot pay at that point. On one side, a lot of interests are being incurred. On the other side, the person is very unhappy, very stressful. How to pay this amount of money, right? That's why don't mess up in your money. The Buddha said, Buddha had no idea about this new credit culture at that time, but we can understand what to do. Credit card is a blessing only if you use it in the proper way. We don't have to blame the banks and companies. So the idea is that then how to use a credit card? Then we
Pay
are
off every month.
yeah,
Make
pay
sure
off
you
this one. But before payoff, how many things am I going to buy? What is my paying bracket? That has to be matched with my income portion. Because I know this is not my money, this is bank's money, right? So how a Buddhist going to use a credit thing? It might be a credit card, maybe a line of credit, maybe a loan, right? So a Buddhist has to handle that kind of a credit thing by understanding how much money I can pay. If I cannot pay, I should not use that card. Right? I should not be in trouble. So this is one very modern type of example, right? So in this way, please read that Samajivikata part. As you said, overspending. We have to discuss about the other side. Underspending. What is that? What is
Stingy.
underspending? Let's say that you get sick. You go to the pharmacy. You're supposed to buy that good product, but you become, no, I'm not going to buy that one. It's $50.
Stingy.
Too much for me. I buy the $20 one, but that is not really cure your problem. then you get sick. That's the
Yes.
thing. So whenever you're supposed to spend and buy the right thing, you must buy it. Otherwise, you will have to pay not $50. Maybe you will not you will not end up with $100,000 at that point. Lots of money you will have to spend by that time. Because Buddha is saying in one sutta, if I'm not mistaken, Kula Sutta in Anguttara Nikaya, how to handle a house, especially with regard to handling a house, dealing with the house. I think we discussed a little bit about it. Now, there is a certain small leaking in someone's house. There is a sink, there is a leaking happening. Then you want to become the local plumber in your house. You try on. You go to the Home Depot in America. "Hey, I have a small leakage. I don't want to hire a plumber here. They are charging a lot. Tell me how to do it." Then you get an unofficial advice from the hardware man or the auntie, whoever, and you're trying to fix it now. But then you can't fix it in that way, right? So now there was a minor repair. Now when time goes, after a couple of months, you see you haven't fixed it properly. Now something uh, big will happen to that particular tool. That's why the Buddha said, when there is a repair, you must do the repair, right? When there is something that you need to upgrade, you must do it at that time. Think about what is happening to many old hotels. They don't upgrade. They did not upgrade at the right time. So nobody goes to those hotels. Right?
They lose out.
They had to sell their rooms at a very cheaper price without even cleaning those places. Right? That's why Buddha said, when it requires a repair, you must do the repair. When it needs an upgrade, you must have done it. Because in another 10, 15 years, if you want to upgrade it, you can't do it. You can't afford it. Right? So that's something very important. Right? Now think about there was an incident in a different country, the prime minister's residence. Now, every prime minister who is in power wants to repair the prime minister's residence, but he or she couldn't do it because he or she has to make a proposal to the parliament, then has to tell how much money will be included for this repair. If people know that this will be costed for $1 million, people will not vote for him or her in the next election. So what may have gone wrong? The repair was not done at the right time. Now it needs lots of money. So that is why when it comes to a repair upgradation or maybe something that you need to buy it. Right? Don't account that money. Like when you donate to a temple, you don't account money, right? Oh, how much money I spent. I mean, sometimes you may do it, but don't account that money, right? Because that was something that I have to do. Maybe it might cost a little bit more. What are the other places that people underspend and then finally get into problems? What are the examples of underspending in our daily life, in other people's life too? Now, we have so many options in everything, right? Let's say you want to fly. A long time ago, there was only economy class, business class, first class, right? Now economy flex, economy saver, economy, right? Even to get some space in front of you, right? Now, let's say you have a problem with regard to your needs, you are thinking about what to do. I don't want to get into trouble, right? Maybe health, maybe comfort, maybe future of your children, maybe your own future, right? So underspending could be a problem because that could take you to some other issue. So Samajivikata means do not overspend, no, underspend. All right, so please read that part. So then the answer to this is not overspending and underspending. At the same time, cultivate Saddha, Sila, Chaga, Panya in your daily life for your spirituality. There is a question here. Is hand wash clothes to save water good? You have to decide that. Yes. Well, I mean, when you have a washing machine, well, I mean, if you can think about what could be the best thing. I mean, you have 2, 3 clothes, why you put them into the washing machine? Perhaps you may think about hand washing. But it depends. Say, for instance, you have to go for a event within a couple of hours. Maybe you know that those clothes might not be dry. So, right? So it depends, right? Because some people become very stingy just for a small. It's like that you spend a lot of money to go to a place, but when you go to the place, you become very stingy to spend money, right? Lots of money was spent to go to that place, but you don't like even to spend some amount of money for other things. Yes, getting a lot of comments. Avoiding going to the clinic when unwell, instead buying meds over. That's an interesting thing, right? Because some people won't be their own doctors sometimes, right? Because they think they can survive from internet, trying on AI platforms and talking to their friends, and right. So it's very important to approach the relevant person, relevant people, doctors, clinics, right? I think we experience a lot of such situations during the COVID time, right? Remember, some people didn't want to go see a doctor and they died in their house, right? So never become your own doctor in that professional way. If you cannot handle it, just go see. Also, Aliana, mental health problem, right? Some people think they can handle it. Sometimes you need to go see a professional because they advise professional.
Yeah.
Right? Don't take it to your own hand. Right? So this way, underspending or spending must be avoided, and at the same time, balancing out. So we will get going at this point a little bit faster. Question 3. In the Sutta, wisdom, Panya is listed as one of the 4 qualities of future happiness. For lay people, what is the best way to develop Panya while still living a busy householder's life? Forget about busyness. I mean, whether you're busy or not, you have to practice, right? Everyone is busy. Maybe what is happening, your busyness has become very big now, the way how you look at it. I mean, everyone is busy in their own way. But the question, let's take the question to us. Panya, may I ask you how to become wise? Give me a very short answer. How to become wise? Actually, this sutta was talking about wisdom. I will show you one more time here. Let's go to, it's when someone is wise, wisdom of arising and passing away, which is noble, penetrative, and leads to complete ending of some, right? But yeah, that's the way how we have to become wise, being able to understand the changes with regard to causes and conditions, sankhara. But may I ask how to become wise in your life? If I ask you from a very broader point of view, did the Buddha say how to become wise very clearly in a certain place? He did. Where did he say that? In the Dhammapada, right? Sabbe sankhara anicchati yada panyaya passati ata nibbindate dukkhe esamaggo visuddhya. Sabbe sankhara dukkhati yada panyaya passati ata nibbindate dukkhe esamaggo visuddhya. Sabbe dhamma anattati yada panyaya passati. Yada panyaya passati. Wait, that means the first line is what we have to do, then that means panya. Sabbe dhamma anattati yada panyaya passati ata nibbindate dukkhe esamaggo visuddhya. Let us take a look at this place here so that we will know this. You can write it down. Okay. See. Okay, Dhammapada 277, 278, 279. So I'm going to show you. Please make a note for that. Dhammapada 277, 278, 279. Sabbe sankhara anicchati. This is the first thing we have to do to become wise. Sabbe sankhara dukkhati. It's the second thing to do to be wise. Sabbe, here there is a typo. Sabbe dhamma anatta. Yeah, it has to be dhamma. Sabbe dhamma anattati. So third. Now, sabbe sankhara. Now you are talking impermanence. You are talking dukkha. You are talking anatta. But keep in mind that these are relevant to certain full situations, complete situations. May I know what is anicca? Now, what is impermanent? What is changing and going to change? How to know that particular dhamma? That thing from a dhamma perspective. Now you are learning everything is impermanent, right? Through many dhamma talks and things. But what is anicca? According to the early Buddhist texts, sankhara. All sankhara are impermanent or change. Sankhara means conditioned phenomena. So who is sankhara? Who is not sankhara? Who is sankhara? Who is not sankhara? Or maybe what is sankhara? What is not sankhara?
Bhante, everything is sankhara, and reaching the nibbana is kind of what we call not sankhara. I mean,
How is everything sankhara?
because everything with a condition.
Everything with a
Everything with a condition. When there is a condition, then people.
Everything with the condition? No, everything is condition.
Everything is conditioned.
Everything is condition. That is
Yeah.
sankhara, right? Everything is condition. Everything is condition. Even the word everything is also condition. Even the person who is talking, everything is also condition. And the people who are listening also, this teaching, condition. That means sankharas are the anicca, nothing else. When you say impermanence to someone, what is anicca, impermanent? Sankharas. Then what is not anicca? Nibbana.
Nibbana.
Because it is not conditioned by anything, deconditioned. Now, when you know this thing, not through knowledge, through realization, then you are coming to the proper wisdom. Now, let us talk about how to get to that point. Now, you may not be able to become a Sotapan, but at least to how to realize impermanence in life. Think about you are going through a big change in your life. What kind of changes could be happening with regard to that thing? Maybe a separation, death of a loved one, maybe aging, maybe sicknesses, right? They all are changing. At the same time, there are good changes, becoming a better person in your life. You were transformed through Dhamma journey, right? Learning, following Dhamma teachings, right? All are changes. So understanding and realizing that part is the first journey into being a wise person. Second, now sankhara was anicca. Then because sankharas are anicca, impermanent, therefore sankhara also leading to dukkha. How to understand that? How do we know that sankharas are leading to dukkha? All these experiences, causes and conditions are leading to dukkha at a certain point. And we have to, not even to understand, but also to realize that. I think the problem is realization, not the understanding, not the knowing. I mean, knowing it as a knowledge, learning it as a knowledge, then understanding within certain context and realizing, right? Realizing part is the wisdom. And then the last one, sabbe dhamma anatta. What is What is anatta? You are talking what? I think there was a question maybe I overlooked the question coming up about anatta. Now, what is anatta in Buddhism? Sabbe Dhamma anatta. Dhamma means Sabbe Dhamma.
Condition phenomena.
Condition phenomena. Then Sankhara. Dhamma. Sabbe Dhamma anatta means Dhamma. What does Dhamma mean? Any thoughts? Sabbe Dhamma. Now, what does Dhamma mean here? Dhamma here means 5 aggregates in the first place. Panchakanda. Are Panchakanda very substantial to us? Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. Now, can you say that you have Panchakanda? The moment you identify you have Panchakanda, that means you are creating Sakkaya Ditthi, right? According to the Sutta text. And then how to understand that? If I am a being should carry 5 aggregates. But I don't want to identify myself with 5 aggregates. So Buddha says here, when you know that, when you don't identify yourself with 5 aggregates, then that is not self, anatta. Right? So when you realize these 3 things, you become wise in a moment of time. Right? You will get panya at that point. Question 4, how does the Dīghajāṇu Sutta connect with other suttas like the Pathakama Sutta, which also guide lay people about wealth and happiness? Okay, so there are parallel themes. That's why we need to do a mind map. You know, there are some apps to do mind map. When you put certain content into the mind map, it will make you a mind map connections. So the connection that Dīghajāṇu Sutta has with regard to Pathakama Sutta. Pathakama Sutta is more about wealth management. Okay, it's particular about wealth management. It's a very detailed explanation about lay people that what you call wealth management. But Dīghajāṇu Sutta is not just about wealth management, it's about the whole lay life. Dīghajāṇu Sutta deals with the well-being of the whole lay life. One thing is effort, one thing is protection, one thing is noble friendship, one thing is money. Not even that, spiritual qualities. Saddha, trust about the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Then Sila, virtue part, discipline. And then generosity and wisdom. So when you look at the broader meaning of this Dīghajāṇu Sutta, you will see some suttas, such as Pathakama Sutta, has a different emphasis, although you see some parallel teachings, just like we know from the Dīghajāṇu Sutta. So the answer to this question is Pathakama Sutta is more about wealth management, but Dīghajāṇu Sutta is about the overall happiness of lay life. So when we learn the both suttas, just like what is happening now, we will have a better understanding about wealth management through Pathakama Sutta, and through Dīghajāṇu Sutta, we will have an overall understanding of the lay person's happiness, which has wealth management too. Question 5, the master's teaching is always rooted in the present. How to connect this with the sutta's teaching about the outcome? May I know who asked this question? Okay, yes, Kel, would you like to explain a little bit about this?
I think the Buddha keep on saying that we should concentrate on the now and to don't look so much into the future. So, but then this second part of the Dīghajāṇu Sutta, we should look at the next life. You know, sometimes some other suttas also is like talking about the next life and things like that. So, how does it all like tie into this thing?
Well, it doesn't say that we have to look into the next life, because just in case we happen to be reborn, because this is a spiritual activity, then if we have not created enough good karma, then what would happen to us? So I think what he says is that now Dīghajāṇu Vyagapajja is asking the Buddha, I don't want to become an enlightened person. That is one thing. Second thing is that when a lay person is practicing it, lay person has to get ready for any situation. In case the lay person is going to be reborn in the next life, then at that point, if you haven't done enough good karma, you won't have enough merits. So it doesn't mean you should expect. We cannot expect the next life that way. Rather, if you happen to be reborn again without being enlightened, then you must have support, karma support. That's why he's asking lay people to practice those things. It does not say expect the next life, look for the next life. What it says is that just in case it happens, definitely it might happen, it will happen. So we need to have good karmas to get benefit. What if that we are reborn as humans who have no food to eat, bad company, we are in criminal places, we are in war-torn zones, right? So that could be a thing. And now let's go back to the first part of the question. What is the Buddhist idea about time management? Did the Buddha always talk about the present moment? I don't think so. He was talking time as a whole as a blending of past, present, and future. Who said that Buddha only talks about the present time? That is the Western mindfulness. The Western mindfulness, which was started in 1990 by John Kabat-Zinn and UMass, Boston. So they started this meditation as mindfulness. Normally we say meditation is the activity, mindfulness is the result. Right? If I give you the proper way to understand that, meditation is the activity we are doing, cultivating wholesome thoughts. We are doing. Not that I'm doing mindfulness. Because mindfulness is sati, that is the outcome of meditation. But they put them together, mindfulness, meditation. Right? In that particular vein, what happened many years ago, perhaps in 2000, maybe mid-2000, there was a German Canadian called Eckhart Tolle, who wrote a book called The Power of Now. This book was a groundbreaking book, one of the New York bestsellers book at that time, talking about the present moment. Even John Kabat-Zinn's Western mindfulness, secular mindfulness, was talking about when you want to meditate, don't think about any other thing. Just be non-judgmental. Just spend the time in this moment. But what did the Buddha say? Past matters, future matters. Then what should you do about the past and future? You have to have the right attitude with regard to the past, with regard to the future. Then you are blending those two into the present moment. Not that past is not important, future is not important. That is a wrong idea. Perhaps that is coming from the Western mindfulness. So I would like to say, what can we do with regard to our past? Is our mind always going to the past or time to time going to the past? Yes, it does. Is it good or bad? Both. Mixed up. It depends. But there is a serious activity that is happening that is not a good activity that the mind does. What is that? It's not just going there. Mind wants to dwell in that past, live in that past. That is a little bit problematic activity. Why? We have to understand that you can't change your past unless you learn something out of that past. Come back to the present moment and then make sure that I will not let that happen again in this present moment. But I value my past with regard to the good things. I don't want to get stuck in my past. But mind wants to go and live there if I'm not mindful about it. If I'm not having the right attitude, if I don't have the samadhi, I will get stuck in my past. What about the future? Are we not supposed to plan the future? Can Buddhists plan the future? Huh? They should plan. Right? How to plan our future? We have to plan ahead. But what if someone is going to live in the future? How to live in the future? Daydreaming, imagining, right? What else? Hypothetical living about the future. What will happen to that person? That person won't be able to live in the moment. So, yes, we have to plan ahead. If we only plan the future, we will become less anxious. Now think about tomorrow, not tomorrow, maybe Monday. Monday is a busy day for many working families, right? They have to go to work, they have to prepare their children. What if the people in the house, they are not preparing for Monday? They just woke up, got up, going to do everything in that particular 1 hour morning. Will everybody be anxious and stressed out? Yes. But what if the family is planning that within Sunday, getting ready for Monday? Will they become less anxious? Will they become less stressed? Will they become less depressed? That's why planning for the future will lessen our anxieties, will reduce our stress. That's why the Buddha said you need to plan, but don't wait until the last minute to plan. Right? So the idea here is Buddha does talk about the past and the future, but he asks us to have the right attitude with regard to the past and future. Never undermine past and future, and then making this present moment happy, and then that future will become our present moment in a moment of time. So to give a particular answer to this question, I would say the Buddha's teaching is always rooted in the wisdom. I would say that wisdom manages time, past, present, future. More particularly, past and future will be blended in the present moment in the proper way if we have the right attitude. Question 6. I have heard about the concept of anatta. How is it possible for the layperson, householder, to achieve this state when worldly life keeps us in the old self? May I know what steps are available to achieve this state? Before you think about anatta, have you already taken care of your atta? May I know who asked this question? Santidhara, is that you? Okay. Have you taken care of yourself before you ask about anatta? Because Buddha says you have to first take care of atta, then talk about anatta. Why do I say so? Dhammapada has a whole chapter about atta in the Buddha Nikaya. The Buddha says you have to take care of yourself. How to take care of us? We have to take care of our physical health, mental health, emotional health. As you take care of your mental, physical, mental, emotional health, at a certain point, then you are thinking about anatta. How to think about anatta? There is no I, me, myself. It's all an amalgamation, totality of 5 aggregates. But until I die, I take care of this body, mind, my emotions. But I know there is no I, me, myself. Then what about the 5 aggregates? And then when you come to this understanding only, you can practice not self. Right? This is how you are going to do the atta to anatta. Right? And then question 7. Okay, something happened already. When someone gets offended after hearing spiritual advice as a kalyana mitta, what should we do? in this situation? May I know whose question is this? Okay, can you give me an example if it is not involved too much personal stuff to understand this more? When someone gets offended after hearing spiritual advice, that means we don't know whether the person who gave the advice given in the proper way or not, right? That's why people get offended, right? I don't know that part. And the second part of that question is, as a Kalyana Mitta, what should we do in this situation? Now you are saying there is one Kalyana Mitta must have given an advice to your friend. Now the friend is not happy. Now you are the second Kalyana Mitta, and what should you do? Can I know what kind of, I mean, just to give a very basic understanding about that particular incident? Not everything, in details, but yeah.
It's just
What kind of
different,
advice is that?
is about self-motivation, Bhante.
Mhm.
And then they have different, I mean, even opinion to look at it. And the
Okay.
other person get offended. Then
Yeah,
what?
so may I know the person who got offended expected that person to give a motivation, or that person forcibly gave the instruction to this person?
The person that get offended expect the other person to support
Okay.
the opinion,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Perhaps I think we discussed that in our Pali OPRC class yesterday about this, how to kindly correcting someone, how to kindly approach it. And we discussed about the proper timing. Maybe the person could have thought about different things. And especially when you are going to give a certain motivation thing, you have to be very careful about the sensitivities of the other person. So without knowing the exact incident, I cannot give a very definite answer to this. But what I can say is that perhaps the problem could be with the person who gave the advice. Maybe the person could have not understood how to address that thing. And on the other hand, the person who got the answer also should have thought in a different way, because this was something I expected the person to tell me. So that was his or her view. So why should I get offended too? Right? So there are two ways to look at it. But now there is a third person, right? The third person's role is something that we have discussed. Third person's role is that the third person can tell that offended one, just take it easy. Different people have different attitudes. We don't have to worry about it. Now you learn something out of this. You just move on in your life, right? There is not only one person to motivate us. There are so many people who can motivate us, right? I think motivation came to us not from one person. We might have been motivated by many people, even the people we never expected in our life, right? So just ask that person to look at it differently. I mean, not in a way that if the person took it in a very offensive way, perhaps the person think there is no other person he or she could have benefited from, right? So you can give some insights like that. Question 8. If one's family business violates the first sila, fish farming, and the person cannot stop the business as the other family members don't believe in Buddhism, what can the person do to mitigate the consequence of his family action? Okay, so what did the Buddha say with regard to ethical, unethical living? Is that trying your level best to avoid, right? It's like there is an activist in Thailand some time ago, I think Sulabaksha. He found out something similar to modern Buddhism. He brought up his own 5 precepts. Very interesting. So the precept he brought up for the fifth precept is this. Now people are drinking alcoholic things, distilled drinks. So can they switch on to fermented food and beverages? Not the distilled food and beverages. So I think in the same way we look at it this way, moderation, maybe avoidance, moderation, right? Maybe at least not to engage in that activity. But if the family is totally depending on this kind of job, it might be hard for them to avoid right away. That might be their main business. I think if they all could agree, they could think about something. Otherwise, the person can think that I'm trying to look at it from a different perspective. Maybe we will try as a group of people in our household to change this business into something one day. But until that day, I have to move on in my life. So it is better not to make very abrupt, fast decisions for this kind of a thing. Try your level best. So you will find out something better. Question 9. Lately, there have been a lot of self-motivational courses, many teach looking inward to the core of the self, with the goal of better understanding one's feelings and self. Does this practice conflict with the Panya Sampada Buddhism? Well, I think this is something very important because in today's world, motivation, inspiration, these topics are discussed within self-improvement, right? But I don't think that learning to be a better person, learning to take care of oneself could certainly impact not self perspective, because only when I understand myself better, that will help me to understand not self. So think about, there is someone who is becoming angry all the time, right? And that person is going to go for a certain maybe course, self-improvement course. In that course, the teacher, whoever is teaching that course, is trying to ask that person to think about yourself, what you are doing to you when you were angry, and then when you look, let's say when you were hurt, and then when you look back that anger situation, then you are two people at that point. So I think self-improvement initially is not a bad thing. That will help us understanding who we are. But if we are creating a very strong permanent self with regard to that, that could be a problem. Otherwise, self-improvement is a very good thing. What are you doing here? Why are you coming to Friday discussion? Are you not self-improving? Now, what is happening here? Every Friday, you come here at 8:30 online. Why? You want to improve your Dhamma knowledge. But as you improve your Dhamma knowledge, if you are not practicing it at the same time, if you are not thinking that I should not just become a Dhamma hearer, Dhamma learner, I also have to make it practical, then that Dhamma knowledge also will take you to a certain extra, maybe extreme self. So self-improvement is necessary as long as you understand that you could open up your path to not self. Only when you understand the self-improvement, that will help you to understand self-worth. How important was it to have been born as a human? Right? Karma, rebirth, and then enlightenment also. Why are people struggling to become an enlightened person? Self-improvement, right? But that self-improvement has to be monitored, whether it will become an extreme self. And 10.1, some even teach to seek God within oneself and believe in Him, the inner voice, when one is unsure about making decisions, taking actions. This is wrong. May I know who asked this question? Okay, can you explain, Liana, about it in simple ways?
Yes, Bhante.
Yeah.
Recently, I got shared by some friends regarding to this self-motivation stuff. And in in short form, we say that motivate us to look inner, the inner voice.
Okay.
And when something happen, when we have no time to, to reflect or to consult with others, then we have to trust our inner voice as the voice from the God,
Okay.
and trust it and
Are
proceed.
they Buddhist or are they non-Buddhist?
I'm not sure about it, but from the wording, I think it's not Buddhist.
Well, you don't have to go to the God to feel your inner voice. Just take a couple of moments of what's happening within us. But anyways, some other religions have their own perspective. We have to respect those Abrahamic religious traditions. But if you are saying you are a Buddhist, that person is a Buddhist and no trust about the Buddha and then looking for the gods to find out his or her voice, I don't think that's a good way to go for that. Actually, Buddha told us we have two speakers within us. One is the inner talker, the other one is the physical talker. So, inner talker can be observed. How can you observe your inner talker? Sometimes you don't talk, but a lot of things are happening in you, right? You are talking actually. When you see someone, when you engage with something, you feel that you are talking. That inner chatter has to be stopped, right? You just take your time, take a private time. Then you will understand how much your mind is talking. Those are the people who want to be talkative, who always want to talk. Because they can't stop their inner chatter. And later it will become a very unmeaningful speech, right? So if you are talking this for being relevant to a Buddhist person, I would say you don't have to go that way. You can do it in your personal reflection. You can feel your inner voice, right? And then we go to the next question. 11, is there a similar practice in Buddhism to those motivational courses? That's what I said, reflection, paccavekkhana. How to paccavekkhana? The Buddha said in Ambalattika Rahula Sutta Majjhima Nikaya to his own son Rahula, he said, before you think, think before you think. Think during you think. Think after you think. Think before you talk. Think during you talk. Think after you talk. Think before you act. Think during you act. Think after you act. Actually, you can say reflect. That's a better term for think. Has anybody thought while you are talking, or you just said everything that came to your mind and then you are apologizing? Sorry, I didn't mean that thing. Just forget about it. Why you are saying? Why you don't have to apologize to people that many and becoming a fake apologizer all the time, saying a lot of things, not thinking. So that means the Buddha said, do paccavekkhana, reflection. Let me type that for you. Paccavekkhana. This is a very important thing. This is going in parallel to the meditation. Paccavekkhana is a daily meditation. Right? So, when you do the Paccavekkhana, it will become your motivational perspective. So today you were thinking that I was talking very mindfully, I was acting very mindfully. So that reflection made me motivational, maybe motivated, inspired. Question 12. There is a claim that Western approach on mindfulness focus much on bhavana. How far this is true? May I know who asked this question too?
Bhante, it's me.
I think the other way around. Western approach of meditation is not cultivating wholesome thoughts. In the Western mindfulness, they are not, most of them are, not everybody. Most of them are not putting an emphasis with regard to sila. Just sit down and then just relax. and they just be in this present moment. That's the Western mindfulness. So I don't think there's a cultivation for the most part. That's more likely you are calming yourself down, relaxing. So that's the difference when you learn Buddhist meditation and Western. When you go to a Western retreat and an early Buddhist retreat, that's the main difference. Because early Buddhist retreat tells you that meditation is not a standalone practice. It is a combined practice. It's an integrated practice with sila. So I would answer the question this way. Western approach on what you call meditation is more about present moment awareness. So that is what we can say. They are not about bhavana. Bhavana means cultivation. And question 13, are there any mention of the ill effects that certain music narratives can bring to the layperson in the suttas, and are there any imperatives to distance oneself from them? Well, music, we understand that the Buddha asked monks not to chant suttas in a melodical way. Don't chant in a melodical, right? Chant the suttas or chant the Buddha's words as they are. Because if you are going to make it more melodic, what would happen to you? The text finally. Then next time you are not chanting, you want to hear that melody. Today chanting is not nice. Not that melody. So I want to hear that melody. This singer, that singer. I mean, that's, well, what I'm saying is that music is, in today's world, is a very good way to propagate Dhamma. No doubt. I 100% agree. Those people who are doing that, they are doing a very good thing. But when it comes to the true Buddhism, in the text, the chanting has to be a chanting, not a melody, not a music, right? Because every Pali word has a meaning. If you're going to make it very melodic, you will not chant it well. When you are not chanting properly, the chanting loses efficacy. Because these chantings were given by the Buddha. So these are very sensitive to the non-human beings. So when you are chanting that melodical way, what would happen is that these non-humans will not attract to the chanting. They are thinking, what is this person doing? Another music, perhaps. Right? So I think it's better to do it in that way. But music is a very good, it's a universal language to use to attract young people into Buddhism and, Dhamma school activities. There is no problem. But if you talk about serious Buddhism, there is a different approach there. I think last two questions. Are there 13. Are there any 13, 14. Are there any suttas explain on danger of misleading information, hate speech, fake news? Yes. Every sutta that is talking about Musavada or Sammavacha, Dhammacakka, I would say Satcha Vibhanga Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya. Then Mahachattharya Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya. There are so many suttas where Buddha talks about the importance of combating misinformation, and at the same time, fake news, truthfulness, not becoming a liar, how to become truthful. And there are so many suttas. I would tell you Satcha Vibhanga Sutta, Mahachattharya Sutta, and there are so many other suttas. If you approach me, I will give you the list. Last question. I think. As a Buddhist, how to maintain honesty and sincerity when people keep a distance from each other for self-protection to prevent oneself from being cheated by scam. As a Buddhist, how to maintain honesty and sincerity when people keep a distance from each other. Are you asking that you are that person which other people are trying to distance from, or you are asking how to protect from the scammers? May I know who asked this question? If you are asking how to stay away from scammers, then you should know how do scammers scam us, right? you have to be aware about it. How are they scamming? They are sending you links to your phone, your social media. They might be calling you. They might be approaching in a mall nowadays, right? There are some scammers who are working in a mall at the moment, right? Sometimes they are talking to you. They are giving away some leaflets. I think that scam awareness is the only way that you can understand, right? Nowadays, when we trust people, we have to adjust our yardstick framework in trusting. So I think if you know about their activities, if you are very, if you are keeping up with this information, you should be able to be okay. Okay, any questions out of these 14 that you may have?
Bhante,
Yes.
non-judgmental is one of the criteria in the mindfulness. But when we are talking about the scammers, so when we communicate with someone, of course, we need to be non-judgmental in a way to communicate, but it's a kind of like kind of contradicting, when the judgmental kind of criteria help us to evaluate people when they are talking to us. I mean, to assess the people whether they are communicating with us very truthfully or not. But when we are non-judgmental, that is open for people, kind of influences in a way that we easily be conned. Yeah, that's my
Yeah,
question.
I think you should not take it as a blanket perspective, because now think about, I know someone for 10 years and now I'm talking to that person, and there is a new person who I'm going to talk to today. Do you think I will have the same attitude with regard to the pleasantness and that speaking, what you call meeting perspective, meeting scenario in the same way? I don't think so. I think what does the Buddha ask us is that we have to practice Dhamma depending on the conditions. Now think about, you are meeting a very new person. You don't know about that person. So you don't have to think a lot of good about that person, a lot of bad about that person. So you have to carefully get to know that person. Right? So this non-judgmental nature is a definition from Western mindfulness. But as we talk to people, we have our own survival instincts. It is not bad. We have our own survival instincts. Now think about the first day you are getting to know a dog. Will the dog trust you on the first day? No, the dog is kind of confused. Who is this person? What is he going to do to me? And you stroke the dog, you get his trust, and slowly he is becoming friendly with you. What about a cat? Are animals trusting us on the first day? May I know? They are not trusting us. You could be a completely bad person to them. You might hit them. In the same, I think it's a survival tactic. It's not an akusala. Depending on our conditions, our environment, our family, we may have it. But what I'm saying is that don't try to overvalue anybody or undervalue somebody. Just get to know someone if you think it is necessary, and then as depending on how it goes, then you will act with that situation. Because if you are always going not to judge anybody, I mean, at least a basic judgment, that would be a good time for a scammer to show up and then make a mess on you. Then don't blame the Buddha at that point. The Buddha told me not to be judgmental, so the scammer got the opportunity. It's not the Buddha's problem. Buddha asks us, practice any good thing with wisdom. Wisdom means understanding causes and conditions. I think that's the way how we're gonna do it.
So Bhante, can I say since the non-judgmental is a kind of Western term?
No, that is not West. That is not kind of. It is exactly the Western interpretation of mindfulness. I told you.
So very, very simplified way of seeing things rather than what the Buddha say.
Buddha, you know the people. There are different people we are getting to know every day. Even the people we know for some time can become changed. So what did the Buddha tell us? You have to know the causes and conditions of the situations, people, and your own causes and conditions, and then to work with these people. We don't need too much doubts about them, and we don't need too much impressions about them. Just looking at causes and conditions, and then work with these people. Right?
And trust the instinct.
Yeah, the gut feeling, instincts.
Mm.
But let me tell you another extreme area. There are people who are very, very, insecure about everything. I think that is not a good thing, right? They are very doubting all the time. They are very uncomfortable, so much anxiety. I don't know what will happen to me. I think that is not a good thing. I'm talking about someone who is basically comfortable talking to someone, but understanding anytime something can happen if I don't understand the causes and conditions. And there are two extreme people. One is overly trusting other people. That is a bad thing. One is overly suspecting the other people. These two people are making a mess. But you're going to be someone who's understanding situations, people, depending on the conditions and cause. We can take one more question if you have.
Bhante,
Yes.
regarding question 13 just now, I think what I meant was the music industry of today, in the sense that it involves, uh, it has the ability to influence a lot of people
Mhm.
and mislead as well as take people to a state of non-mindfulness.
You can give me an example.
Like, for example, we have pop songs today that encourages with negative behavior, for example, sexual promiscuity, songs like Young, Dumb, and Broke.
Mhm. Okay.
So we're hearing this every day on the radio. So would it not be fair to distance ourselves? That's exactly what my question is like.
Okay. So I think what we could say to that kind of a situation is, let's say you are following the Buddhist teachings, and you can always think about whether you want to listen to this song or not. I mean, definitely you can opt out. And perhaps if you want to motivate other people with regard to that, you can share your thoughts about this. I mean, but we may not be able to stop all these things, right, from the mainstream society. As a Buddhist, you can have the right attitude to understand. Not even this kind of song. There are some songs they are giving very much different ideas about life for the young people, right? Maybe about drugs, maybe substance, right? So I think we can educate the context of the songs. In the relevant cohorts, groups, and situations. Other than that, I don't think we can do anything much about it. Educating people about the idea, what is being spread around through that kind of a song. All right. So
Bhante, can I add to that?
yes.
Where I'm concerned, right, when I listen to a song, I take a song as a song. I do not get influenced by the lyrics. I just enjoy the melody. The lyrics is an opinion of the writer. You may not have to agree with it, but you just take it as a whole. Do not be overly attached to it. It's just music to lighten yourself.
Yeah, that is another way to look at it. But if you are really concerned about the lyrics, I mean, if you are in the music industry, then you can educate people about this kind of stuff. But for the normal people who don't know about this whole thing, they can have this kind of idea. If you like the music, I think that's a different. But the problem is, if you like the music, one day you get into a party and you want to sing a song, and you might sing that song with the lyrics, huh? Right? Anyway, so you have to be very careful. I mean, then let's say the song is your favorite. You don't like the lyrics. You only like the song, the music, but you are in the party. You have to sing a song. Maybe you have to sing that song, right? So, but anyway, this is a interesting way to look at it. But we have choices as a Buddhist. So let us think about our choices, what we can opt out. All right, so one more thing. Let's go to the sutta one last time and then see. Dīghajāṇu Sutta. Okay, so because we are finalizing the sutta, at the end you can see four stanzas. They are also about a summary of the whole sutta. So there's nothing much about different Dhamma teachings. So then today we are with this ending the Dīghajāṇu Sutta. I haven't thought about the next sutta, so I will let you know during the couple of days coming up. And I hope that Dīghajāṇu Sutta opened your horizons with regard to your lay life, not about attaining Nibbana only. So these suttas about lay life will open up lots of areas that you may have not looked at. So not even as a learning, but also an understanding as well as a realization in your life. So with that, we are going to transfer the good karmas at this point. May all the good karmas that we've been making today be transferred to all departed relatives who passed away in the name of all of us. May our departed relatives be well and happy, and then may they finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idang me ñāti nang huntu sukita huntu ñātayo. Idang me ñāti nang huntu sukita huntu ñātayo. Idang me ñāti nang huntu sukita huntu ñātayo. Next, we are going to share good karmas. All these good karmas we will make in through Dīghajāṇu Sutta be received by Devanaga Mahindika. May Devanaga Mahindika be well and happy. May they protect and bless all of us for good health, quality of life, prosperity, safety, happiness. We need these blessings until we attain Nibbana. May Devanaga Mahindika also finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasatta cha bhummatta devanaga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chiran rakhantu sasanam. Akasatta cha bhummatta devanaga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chiran rakhantu desanam. Akasatta cha bhummatta devanaga mahindika punyantang anumoditva Chirang rakhang tumang parang, chirang rakhang tutwang sadati. Next, we are going to make a wish. Our Dhamma wish is to be surrounded with Kalyana Mittas and at the same time to become Kalyana Mittas to as many sentient beings as we meet in this samsaric life till we attain Nibbana. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yavanimbana patya. Finally, may all the good karmas we've been making throughout Dīghajāṇu Sutta. I think we've been doing Dīghajāṇu Sutta for almost 10 weeks. 8 days for the contents and then 1 day for introduction, 1 day for conclusion. So 8 weeks almost, it spanned over well over 3 months. So may all these almost 2 months over, may all these good karmas we've been making throughout this Dīghajāṇu Sutta discussion be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Blessings. Abhivadana silis niccang vaddha pachayino chattaru dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanno sukhang balang Ayurarogya Sampatti, Sagga Sampatti Nevacha, Ato Nibbana Sampatti, Iminati Samichatu, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. At the same time, I again want to remember Aliana and her son. They are uploading videos, all these videos onto YouTube, and they are doing a lot of things during the week. So we are very thankful, grateful for them. And at the same time, Ti-Ratana Vihara plan to continue this. all
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Yes. So wishing you a good night till we see you again next Friday with the name Sutta.
Thank you,
Have a good
Bhante.
day.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you very much, Bhante.
Thank you,
Good night,
Bhante.
brother and
Sadhu,
sister.
sadhu.
Sadhu,
Thank you,
sadhu,
Thank you,
Bhante.
sadhu.
Dr.
See you all.
Aliana and
Good
everyone.
Thank you, Bhante.
night,
Sadhu,
sister.
sadhu, sadhu. Good night.
Good
Tera
night,
wassalam,
everyone.
Bhante.
Good
Bye bye,
night.
everybody. Have a good weekend.
Good night, sister. Have a good
Bye bye,
weekend.
Aliana.
Yeah,
Thank you
good
so
night.
much. Bye bye.
Sadhu,
Good night.
sister.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you,
Good
Bhante.
luck.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you. Good
you.
night. Yes. Thank you,
Good night,
Aliana.
Bhante. Yes.
Aliana, there was a comment. Dear host, Sukhiyanto, I'm having some issues with my Facebook. Hence, you
Yeah, it's on me, Bhante.
Okay. So, were you able to get it sorted out? Because you came to the Zoom today, right?
Yeah.
I
What
think
is
that's
it?
a good idea.
Yeah, just normally I use Facebook. But my
Yes,
Facebook today, I
Facebook. Yeah, we had issues with it, but now I think it's okay. But better to be here actually. So then you can, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Just
So you can
yes,
add
good
me
night.
to the.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Bhante. Thank you. Good night.
Okay,
Good night, Bhante.
Yes.
Good night, brother.
Good night. Yes.
Good night.
Good night, Bhante. And then
Good night.
Good night. Good night, sister. Good night.